Amir, kick things off. Let's get your full name, your age, where you're based out of, and what you do for work.
Yeah, my name's Amir Odom. I'm based out of Nashville, Tennessee, 28 years old, and I do YouTube full time.
Let's go. Fellow
Yeah,
creator in here, baby. Let's get it.
yes, sir.
I would love to. I know before we jumped in, you kind of gave me a little bit of context of kind of where you wanted to take this conversation over the next 30 minutes, but I just want
Hmm.
to open it, right? I'm here for you. I want to give you as much value as I
Appreciate it.
possibly can in this 30 minutes. Anything specific you were looking to cover, whether it's challenges in personal, professional life, or just anything at all that you want to dive into, let's do it.
Honestly, it's all personal and like structuring the life side of things. The
Mm,
business, YouTube, um, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I have I have it down pretty good. I've been full time for a year now, and I'm almost at
congrats.
200,000 subs, signed to an agency. It's completely changed my life. And the
Mm,
structure that I have in place is doing really well. Engagement's well, retention's well. All of that is solid. Um, but I'm before YouTube, I was in a corporate 9 to 5 from like since I was 18 years old.
mm,
And so I always had this structure of 9 to 5 waking up. I was very intuitive in my field. I was in the marketing department, and I was always taking courses and learning more about my job, and it was really fun. But now that I'm working for myself, I don't have anyone or anything. It's just
mm.
me. So it's kind of hard having that structure. I had my one-on-ones with my boss. Like now there's no one to do one-on-ones with.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I've realized that I am doing well, but I know myself and I know I could do way more if I had a good structure on my life, and just a good schedule.
So let's double click on that a little bit deeper. Because you
Yeah.
lack structure, lack schedule, what do you feel like either you're missing out on, or what is that causing you to feel? What
Mhm.
is your life looking like present day because you lack those things?
That's the difficult part is that it's not bad. I'm actually
Yeah.
enjoying life. Working out pretty much every day, do a lot of hot yoga, a lot of hot
Right
yoga.
there with you, brother.
Um, so good. Um, Getting ample amount of sleep, talking to my friends, getting videos done. But I know if I had structure, I guess what I'm lacking is more money, I guess, more videos, more content being put out. Um, because I know I can put out more because there's times where I'm honestly not working on a video for a week. I'm just
Mm,
doing just random other things or, brainstorming here or, doing housework. And then all of a sudden my manager's like, hey, we got like 3 more sponsors. You want to do them? And I'm like, heck yeah. And I
mm,
pump them out. And so I've seen a pattern where it's clear I can get these videos done. But in
yeah.
my mind, I'm telling myself it takes more time than it does. So I just know that if I did have structure, um, my channel would be in a far different realm right now.
Okay. I,
Yeah,
I appreciate the honesty and appreciate the vulnerability, just sharing kind of like where you're at and how, and what's happening behind the scenes. So
of course.
let's hit on what you just said though, right? Like your manage, so you might have like a week or 2 weeks where you're kind of just flowing, doing things around the house. No, there's no real
Hmm.
pressure to get anything done because you don't have a
Right.
boss. You don't have someone that's like, Amir, where's the project for next Friday? Like you're just like all good. But
Yeah,
it's when the business comes knocking, your manager calls, hey, we got 3 brands I want to work with you for the next 3 videos. Can you pump these out in the next 3 weeks? You're like, all right, game time. It's time to clock in. So what we
exactly.
need to do is we need to help you create healthy internal pressure on a week to week basis, even if
Hmm.
there aren't any brand deals lined up. And
Right.
I think there's 2 things that will immediately just like create this pressure is one, as much as you're not in the 9 to 5 anymore, it could be
Hmm.
extremely beneficial for you to get clear on like in the picture perfect world. Cause this is the beauty of you being an entrepreneur. You get to design your life. You want to work Tuesday at 3 p.m. Do you want to work
Right.
Sunday at noon? Like you get to choose, but that also can be very overwhelming because it's this constant like pull of should I work now? Should I take time off? Should I work now? Should I take time off?
Exactly.
It's constant. So what I would say is, can we create like a set start and stop working time for you in certain days of the week where you know it's
Hmm.
time to work, and then you know when it's time to shut the laptop, when it's time to carve out time to hang with the friends, to go experience life and enjoy those things, because those things are equally as valuable as making money. Like, it's the
Right.
full wheel. It keeps you mentally, physically, spiritually sound. So, one, could you imagine yourself having like a set start time every day? Do you have that already or not?
I don't I have a very loose one.
Okay. And
Pretty
loose, what do you mean?
much
Like, usually within like a 30-minute window, or?
within like between 9:30 and 10:30,
Okay.
I'll like sit down on my computer and literally just start either continue editing or scripting, writing, whatever it may be. And then around 4-ish, it tapers off.
Hmm.
And then of course, that's when I'm cooking dinner, cleaning the house, walking the dog, I go to yoga, and then around 10 o'clock, it just turns back on
Mm,
and then it doesn't turn off till like 3 a.m. And I'm back in it.
mm.
And then I go to bed and then I wake up around 8, chill out for a little bit, and then get back into it 9:30, 10.
So even if you go to bed at 3, you'll still force yourself to get up at 8, get 5
Yeah.
hours
Oh,
of
oh,
sleep.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Regardless, I am getting up. I can't sleep and I feel disgusting.
Okay, this is great. Do you feel like you should be getting more sleep? Or do you think you would feel more focused, energized, motivated, etc. on a day-to-day basis if you had more consistent sleep in your life?
If it was consistent, it probably would be really great
Okay.
if it was consistent.
Okay.
Um, my only downfall is I do feel like late night I get in this like zone and this flow creatively.
Mm,
My mind's just churning in bed. I gotta write this video, a topic down. I gotta do this idea, and I don't want to get rid of that, but also do feel like that could probably shine bright in the mornings as well if I did have a set structure where it was like, all right, 11, I'm in bed,
yes.
I'm up at 7, and kind of swap those hours where, yeah, I'm really creative between a midnight and 2 a.m. Let's just shift that
Yes.
to sleep, waking up at 7, and maybe between 7 and 10 a.m. You're really creative. You never
Yeah.
know. So
I
maybe that.
I I know of people that are night owls, and that's where they get their best work done. I know people that are morning people, they're afternoon people, but I truly believe if you are extremely intentional with your time, you can
Hmm.
compartmentalize your output during certain blocks of time. So what normally would take you an 8-hour day gets hyper condensed into 4 to 5 hours because you know it's time to work. There's this healthy
Hmm.
sense of pressure, like I got to get these things done. I don't have all day, and then I have, I know at 10 p.m. I'm gonna get the inspo again. So if I don't finish it now, I'll just do it tonight. Because
Right.
to me, that's just like that's like this constant game of like working, but then playtime, and then working, and then neglecting
It's
sleep, and it's just like
it's
it's
why
a
I'm
hamster
here.
wheel, right?
It's
Yeah,
literally why I'm here. Because I mean, it was fun at first. I had that 9 to 5 structure for so long, and then I left corporate America, and it was like I'm free.
yeah,
And then YouTube took off, and it's like, well, money, like I'm good, and I have this freedom, just do what I want when I want. But now I'm like, all right, I kind of need that structure again and that
yeah.
healthy balance of work life and you know that drive to just go after it.
Your well being and how you feel on a daily basis to me is like the number one priority. But what
Hmm.
comes right after that, which I know goes hand in hand, is the money will increase by you prioritizing you more,
Exactly.
because your output will be so much more consistent, that you're posting more videos, which means more brand deals, which is just a ripple effect to you making more money. So
Hmm.
so I think what we need to figure out right now is, in a picture perfect world, let's actually start at the end, because this
Okay.
bleeds into how you start your day. Picture perfect world, what time are you going to sleep every night?
Picture perfect.
And ignore these creative sprints that happen at 10
Yeah.
p.m. If we could draw it up perfectly, what time would you be going to bed every night?
Shit.
And you don't have to have the perfect answer right now, but
10.
like 10.
10.
Great.
Yeah.
And how many hours of sleep would you be getting?
I feel like six or seven's a good spot for me.
6 or 7?
Yeah,
Okay. I would eventually encourage you maybe trying to get to like 7, 8, but we'll go
seven,
we'll go
eight.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
So if you're going to bed at 10 and you need 6 hours, that's getting you up at 4 a.m. Do you feel?
Oh, wow. We can do more.
Yeah, yeah.
We can do more. We
Okay.
can do 8. Yeah.
Just yes, just for the sake of this exercise, let's say you're consistently getting 8, and I also will say it's easy for you to say 6 to 7 right now because it seems like your ceiling for sleep right now is around 5. So you're like, yeah, an extra hour is gonna do me good. I'm
Right.
telling you, if you got consistent 7, 8, it's gonna be a game changing difference in how you feel on a day to day basis.
Hmm.
So let's say you go to bed at 10 p.m. every night, you get up at 6. That's consistent 8 hours of sleep. Boom. Now you're charged up, you're fueled up for the day. Your battery is fully charged. How would you spend the first 2 to 3 hours of your morning? Do you like doing the yoga at the end of the day? Do you think if you had the time, you would more ideally do it in the morning,
I like end of day,
end of day? Okay.
especially since it's hot. I'm
Yeah, I
I'm
get it.
getting there. Yeah, like
What time is the class usually you go to?
typically I go to like a 7 or 8 o'clock p.m.
Great. So that's a perfect way for you to end your day. That's going to be the last thing.
No, yeah. Hmm.
Great, great. So if you're getting up at 6, what like you said earlier when you're present day, you're waking up at 8
Hmm.
and then you're getting into work by 9:30, 10:30. You're getting into the work. What do you usually spend the first hour of your day doing?
Typically between just like random house stuff, like
Okay,
starting a load of laundry, cleaning up, and then I take my dog on a lap around the
great,
neighborhood. Very chillaxed. Scroll
great.
on Twitter maybe, watch a YouTube video that I've been like wanting to watch. It's very chill.
Okay. Do you like that type of morning where it's kind of like this, like it's giving almost your mind and body like an hour to an hour and a half to just warm up?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's say that from 6 to 7:30, it's that. You walk the
Hmm.
dog, you organize the house, you watch some YouTube videos, you do any house chores that you feel like need to get done before you start your working day. Probably makes you feel good to know your environment is in a good spot. The dog has
Hmm.
walked, everything's lined up. Now you're good to go. So now it's 7:30 ish. From there, how would it feel for you to start work around then? Part one. And then
Hmm.
part two, actually answer that. Do you feel like that would be a good time for you to kind of start and get the momentum going for your work stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get into at the beginning of this conversation, I said there's two things. We need to talk about set, start, and stop working times. The next piece that I didn't get to mention, which I want to talk about right now, is how do you how do you get clear on what the priorities are for the day ahead when it comes to work? With especially in the
Uh,
days, not when manager calls and say, "Hey, we got 3 brand deals lined up." When
right.
there's no call coming in, you have a clear day or just anything, like, how do you get aligned on what your
Hmm.
priorities are for that day ahead?
Typically, so a lot of my sponsors they're booked out to July. I think at this point, like July.
Great.
So I know when it's something expecting. So I know, for example, um, next Wednesday I have a video that needs to comes out. So I'll theme my day. So today I'm focusing on just scripting
Cool.
and preparing a film. And then on this day I'm just filming and I'm getting right into editing. And on this day, editing, and then another day, working on my thumbnail and then a little bit of my next video and kind of keep it in a loop. But the theming, that really has made a difference for me, a little bit. So
Theming the day based on what
yeah.
the okay.
Hmm.
Now I love that. My question for you is, could you do the theme could you do each day has a different theme? Would you be able to do 2 themes in one day? Realistically, I don't know. I'm just for
Yeah.
you do. You think you could?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
So the reason I'm asking that is like, what would it look like for you to condense what would
Hmm.
take you 2 days into one, which may create more pressure for you to get the script done faster, more efficient. Same with the editing. Because as a creator myself, if I know that my objective for the day is great example is writing just the script, I know I have the whole day. I can kind of
Gotcha.
slow and don't get me wrong, the YouTube long format game is a different ball game. So a lot of the stuff I'm doing is short form or podcast, which is just like this. So I know it's a
Mhm.
different beast, and I know it's a machine that you obviously have figured out. So I just think it would be interesting to test what would it look like to take. I love that you're doing themes. So what would it look
Mhm.
like for you to do a theme in the morning and then a theme in the afternoon?
Honestly, that'd be fun to try out because you're right with the pressure. That when all I have on my list is, oh, work on this one video.
Mm,
That's maybe 20, 25 minutes. Like, oh yeah, easy.
yes.
And deep down, I know that.
Yeah.
But if I had the pressure of like, actually, Amir, gonna condense that to like a 4 hour sprint in the morning and in the
Yes.
afternoon, maybe, a month from now, bump it up to, script in the morning and film it right after you're done
Yes.
writing and just pump it out.
You
Um,
know what's been one of my biggest productivity hacks in the last 2 months, and I think it might fit perfectly for you to potentially test is
mhm.
I do 4 90-minute focus sprints a day, and that's it. And after the
Hmm.
fourth, I'm done working. So that's 6 hours of hyper focus work. And it amazes me how much I actually accomplish within those blocks.
Wow,
Because,
that'd actually be pretty cool.
and so what I'm thinking is for you to test is like, you do a 90-minute block when you get into the flow of working around 7:30.
Hmm.
At the 90-minute mark, for me, that's usually when I'll go make breakfast or my first meal of the day. For you, could be food. It could be just like give yourself 15, 20 minutes, maybe take your dog for a walk around the block, whatever. It's usually a 15 to 20-minute window break,
Hmm.
then drop back in for another 90 minutes. Same thing. That 90 minutes up, get up because I've tried the 3 to 4 hour blocks and I just feel like truly around that 90-minute 2 hour mark, I'm pretty tapped out and I need to get
Yeah,
up and move my body.
a
And
little
so
reset.
yes. So
Hmm.
I think breaking it into these 4 90-minute blocks just allows you to like drop in, put the phone to the side. You don't feel bad like waiting to respond to someone on a text because it's just a quick 90-minute sprint. It's not this
Right, it's not that
4 hour
bad.
adventure. Um, so I feel like that could be really interesting. And then for you, it'd be like, okay, the first 2 90-minute blocks are focused on this theme. The next 2 minute 90 blocks are going to be focused on this theme.
Hmm.
And I feel like that could help you get more done in a less amount of time.
For sure, and that's what it sounds like. Honestly, it sounds like a good idea to try out.
Yes.
Um, Especially with the sleep and then
Mm,
getting up and kind of condensing the themes to adding two a day.
yes.
And then even breaking it up to where two themes is broken up to 90 minute, 90 minute, and then the other one's 90 minute, 90 minute.
Yep.
Um, because no one loses from that structure.
Mm-mm.
If anybody wins more, it's my dog because he gets to walk more, and then
And
I win because not annoying me.
here's one other idea for you that I just thought of is say you really like the theme per
Yeah.
day. You're just like, Bobby, I love writing on day one. I love shooting on day two. I love editing on day three, right? Or you love whatever
Hmm.
that format is. My then I would challenge you is like, what would it look like? Or is it possible to do two in one? So on the writing day, you're writing two scripts. On the shooting day, you're shooting two videos. On the editing day, you're working on two different projects. I'm not saying it's possible. I know there's a
Right.
ceiling for my creativity. Like that's where I'm intentional, where the morning hours are for my deep work writing. And then the afternoons, I do
Hmm.
coaching calls and podcasts like this. So I'm not saying it's going to work, but it's just another way you could test is like
Something to at least test it and try.
maybe you just double up.
Um, I think that actually would work well because something I did try out. I can't believe it's April already.
I know it's fast.
Something I tried out, I believe in February or March, was I did film like 3 videos, and then I left the rest of the month to just edit.
Mm,
And I was edit this week I'm focused on this video, the next week I'm focused on this video, and trickle it down. And that felt pretty good. So yeah, I probably could condense it all and add more. I'm
yes,
not probably I know I can.
you can. You
Like
definitely
that's the
can.
thing. Like I remember back in college, how did I have 18 hours of schoolwork, working full time, still was able to see friends, work out, and then like do social media too. It's like I clearly can do it.
Yeah. Well,
It's just a matter of
this is why I think having these hard start and stop times is going to force you to get things done fast and efficiently. Because what gives
hmm.
me peace of mind, Amir, is at the end of the day at 5 p.m., I'm done. which means like the objectives that I've written down for that day need to get done. Now, there's always going to be this scenario where something needs to get pushed or something comes up and I have to readjust it. But
Right.
I think what helps me be so efficient with my time is like, I know the start time, I know the stop time. I have these 4 90-minute blocks, and then that's it. And if I
So come
don't
five
finish,
o'clock, like you literally cannot work. Like you're not even allowing yourself to do it because you're not
I'm
at
done.
work.
I'm done.
Yeah, you're done.
Because that's now it's because like I said to you earlier, I value the personal life experiences, my well-being,
Hmm.
dinner with my partner, walking our dogs. I value that just as much as making a video, locking in a brand partnership, locking in a new client, because it all can coexist. It needs to
Yeah.
coexist together. If one weighs more than the other, I'm not in balance. And
Yep.
so having that hard stop time then allows me to go prioritize all of those other things that are important to me so that I can I can give them the proper attention on a daily basis, not just once in a blue moon, but on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part
It
two,
makes complete sense.
part two of that would be for you is like you have the start time, you have the stop time. Now what it would look like to pick certain days of the week where I work. And then
Hmm.
is there a day or days where I allow myself to not have to think about work? Because I know how it feels when you don't have that set. Saturday rolls around, you're like, okay, I can make this video. I should create this. I can work on this script. The mind just
Hmm.
immediately goes to what you should be or could be doing. But when you're
Right.
clear on the boundaries of the days you're working and when you're not, you wake up on that Saturday and you're allowing yourself to lounge in bed, to do the yoga at noon, to bring the dog to the dog park at 3 p.m. because you're not worried about working because you've told yourself ahead of time, this is my day off.
Hmm.
Something else to consider.
Yeah. No, that sounds good too because it does. Because I do get in those flows where it's like Saturday rolls around, so I could be scripting or I could
Hmm.
be working on another video. But instead, if I had that structure during the week and I was getting that much done in the week, oh, I feel way less, guilt on the
Yes.
weekend to just relax or
Yes.
take my dog out or whatever it may be and not feel guilty to myself for not working because it's not like I'm not working. I just move that time
Elsewhere.
to more productivity during the week.
Yes. Absolutely. And that ultimately, when you have these set boundaries, it ends up providing you more peace because you don't
Yeah.
have this regret of living your life or regret working on the business. It also gives you more fulfillment because you're making sure to prioritize both the personal and professional. And you just feel more free because you're kind of just flowing and you're able to make sure that both of these areas of your life are in alignment and nothing's being neglected.
Hmm. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. So that's at least structure wise where I feel like are some things you can test and see what kind of comes up. Anything else that's top of mind? I feel like we hit the structuring stuff a lot. I feel like there's some good takeaways and some good action items there. What else comes up for you
Sure, I
right now?
appreciate it. Um, Really, that structure, that the structure helped a lot.
Mm,
It's a lot of value, and I really appreciate it. Between that and just general questions about your offerings that you have,
yeah.
so I was curious about like I knew about your life designer course. When is that
That's
coming
gonna
out, and what does that look like?
yeah, that's gonna come out ideally May 1st, as long as everything is good to go. I essentially
Hmm.
took I appreciate you asking and being aware of it. I essentially took what I teach and work through with my one-on-one clients.
Hmm.
I took the main themes, topics, and I've reverse engineered and built it into a digital course. So it's a digital course and it's a community. That's why I'm
Cool.
packaging it as Life Designer Club. It was originally
Hmm.
going to be Design Your Life course, and then I added the community component. But that's essentially taking people through the 4 phases I think every individual needs to go through to create work life harmony for themselves that I've developed and
Hmm.
I've helped my clients go through. So that'll be out on May 1st, as long as everything goes according to plan. There's 42
Sick.
videos, 130 mini exercises, private WhatsApp group, weekly 1 hour Q&A. It's going to be really like a bunch of value. And it's truly the thing I wish I had on day one of entrepreneurship when I was first getting started to learn how to
Yeah.
navigate.
I forgot how I stumbled across your content. It was definitely was on Instagram.
Mm,
Um, but being in the space, I mean, I've seen lots of different people and courses. I need to nail it down, but it's something about you that makes you stick out. And it's not like, I don't know. I was telling my husband this earlier. I'm like, he's like real
mm,
and realistic. Like you're not, it's not there is a lot, no, there's a lot of people out there that's very facade and it's very like just fake.
mm,
With you, it's very real, authentic, and you focus a lot on life without taking away from work.
mm,
Whereas I typically see like a life coach or a work coach, you're very applicable, just both.
mm.
And it stuck out a lot. So kudos to you.
I really appreciate that, man. That means a lot. The the realistic part really hits home for me because one, when I first heard that, I thought you were speaking more from the like another word would be like authentic, and that like
Hmm.
really hits home because that's something I've really tried to do my best. Like what you see online is what you're going to get in person.
Yeah.
But then two is I've always like done my best to just give realistic like advice based on what I've learned. So everything that you're seeing,
Yes.
I'm walking the talk. Like I've learned it
That's
the
what I
hard
can
way,
tell.
and
Like you're not just preaching. You're practicing too.
yeah,
Um, and that's what I appreciate. I guess it's that. I guess it is that. Um, that I can see you're actively taking your own course. Like you're
mm,
doing the work too, and you're open and transparent about any setbacks or things that didn't work, things that did work, or this may work for this person, but it may not the other. Um, and yeah, it's authentic and real. I don't know. I
thank
don't
you.
know what it was. I was just like, because I mean, like you see, we have some mutuals on Instagram. I'm friends with Lewis Howes and
Yeah,
Andy Frisella and all these people, and even Edge Theory Labs. Like I saw you were talking to them. Like I was like, oh, it's great. Um, but yeah, you stick out a lot.
mm,
I don't know. It's just very authentic. I have to give you kudos there and your props. You do a great job at. It's so sad to say. You do a great job at being yourself
mm,
in the world that is very not that.
wow,
And I feel like since we see so much of that, it's very easy and clear to see, oh, this person's real.
mm,
At least for me, I try to trust my intuition in that, and it hasn't led me wrong yet. So
wow.
that's
I
why I'm here now.
I really appreciate that. What's also interesting timing of you saying that is earlier this morning I did my first ever psychic reading,
Hmm.
and one thing that came up was that sometimes she feels like I am afraid to be myself fully because I'm
Hmm.
comparing who I am to other creators, other coaches,
Yes.
etc. And she's like, your superpower is being you authentically. Because
Hmm.
when you are you yourself, you don't have to worry about comparing yourself to anyone else because
It's so
you're one of a
carefree.
kind.
Yep.
Yeah. So that really
It's
speaks to me.
I'm glad, and that's a great reading too, because it's so real for being a creator, and sometimes you focus on other things, but I always tell my audience too, just like focus on tunnel vision,
Yeah.
lock yourself in, focus on you and only you, and it is mind blowing how fast your life can and will change by just the positive affirmations, setting your intentions, and really that's also another thing that really stuck out is designing your life because I mean we'll get into this one day and I'm very transparent about it. But eighth grade had a lot of failed attempts to self delete,
Mm,
and I had one night we came close. Like, I almost did it, but I didn't. And I was in bed listening to music and New Perspective by All Time Low came on and Weightless by New Perspective by Panic at the Disco, Weightless by All Time Low came on, and those songs really lit a fire in me to just say, if I can't take my own life, I'm at least design it,
wow.
and go after my goals and dreams. So from being homeless and poor, dad, I have no relationship with my parents at all, really, pretty much. Dad's out in the street somewhere. Mom, rocky relationship, but to go from that 10 years ago to just now living my dreams, oh, it's insane.
Mm,
But really, just putting your mind to something, focusing on it, stop comparing yourself to everybody else, and always striving to become a better version will do for you, your mental health, and your life.
mm,
And the second I became an entrepreneur was the second I saw that little dip because I didn't have that accountability. I didn't have like a teacher or a boss or anybody really on my ass about it. So I'm like, I need that accountability. I need a good crew around me. So I'm here, and I appreciate you and your and what you do.
wow, man. Amir, I'm proud of you for who you've evolved since that moment, and I'm sure I'm saying this on behalf of many people that consume your content, but I'm thankful that you're here and you're leading a
Appreciate it.
charge. And I would only, I'm not aware of how much you've spoken on some of these subjects through
Hmm.
content, through other podcasts, but I would only encourage you to continue sharing as much as you're comfortable, as much as you want to.
Oh,
But
open,
yeah,
complete open book. I have a coming out story on my YouTube channel. We're talking about conversion therapy,
wow,
straight camp,
wow,
meeting with. It's a lot, but
go
I'm
ahead.
I'm an open book because, like I was mentioning, no one's real anymore. Everyone's just trying to put on this front, and that's not going to get us anywhere.
Yeah,
Like we need to bring back just having openness, honest conversations. And so, one thing about my life, and I'm gonna tell you all about it
mm, I love
because
it.
it will resonate with someone out there.
I love it. I love it. Before we wrap up, any last comments, thoughts, questions?
Um, no, other than thank you for your time, thank you for the resources, thank you for the ideas. Really outstanding. I really appreciate it.
You feel good sense of directions for next steps?
Oh yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah.
Good. Well, I'm excited to hear some of the updates. I think just the tweaking of the scheduling and coming up with some hard start stop times. I think being intentional with what days of the week do you want to work, what days do you want to have off. I think
Hmm.
testing like not only the 4 90-minute focus sprints, but then what would it look like to condense 2 theme days into one day,
Yeah,
or what would it look
I
like
could do
to
it.
convert two, if it's writing days, 2 writing days, what would it look like to condense that into one? So I'm writing one script in the morning, one script in the afternoon. I think
Hmm.
just those changes are going to create some healthy internal pressure, and I think could really change your output, could change how you feel on a day-to-day basis, can make you more money. I think it could be a game changer in the next 3 6 9 months, rest of the year for you.
Undoubtedly.
Good.
So I'll definitely be keeping in touch, and we'll put all these things into action.
Good. Where can people find you, connect with you after listening to this?
Yeah, YouTube, Amir Odom, AMIRODOM. It'll be there. AmirOdom.com has all my links. And yeah, on Instagram, Amir X Odom, AMIRXODOM. Um, yeah, that's it.
Cool. I'll have it linked up in the description below. Amir, thank you for taking the time.
Perfect. Thank you.
See you.